It's the Joey Petroni Show with your host, Joey Petroni.
So we went over to see Wicked. We went across the street to see Wicked, and we had great seats. But right in front of my daughter was this big guy. You know, his head was like, you know, big dude, head. Man. Yeah, it's like a football player, real big dude sitting there. And I'm like, oh, I gotta take one for the team. You know, I mean, I want to see Wicked, but I don't want to see Wicked as bad as they do.
Right, you're tall.
I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
So we switched seats, and I sat with this big freaking guy in front of me. So I started to deal with it. I was sitting straight up, and I could see over his head, and I could see, you know. And then he starts to stretch during the show. He starts to stretch, and he puts his hand up like this. You know?
Yeah, on his head.
On his head. So now, like, yeah, and he's scratching his head, right? He's scratching his head. So it's a distraction. I'm trying to watch. You know, you paid a lot of money for the seats.
Yeah, Wicked's expensive.
So I'm looking through this little area between his head and his arm.
Yeah.
And I can see, but now he's moving around. He starts doing one of these. And he's moving his head back and forth. So I'm asking my wife, how much are these tickets?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get up and complain. So then he puts his head on his girlfriend's shoulder, and I could see perfect.
Right, that's good.
And I'm like, this is awesome. But then she started getting annoyed with his head on her shoulder. His head probably weighed 150 pounds.
I was going to say, yeah, she's probably got a bad shoulder now.
So he gets his head back up, and then he starts doing a neck thing. You know, so he's doing back and forth. Total distraction, but they couldn't get any worse than that, right? But all of a sudden, the stagehands come out, and someone's having a massive heart attack.
Oh.
There's a medical emergency up in the, what's that called up there?
Oh, the balcony?
The balcony.
The mezzanine?
The mezzanine.
The mezzanine.
So they shut down the show during that time. And so they, it's not funny. You know, is there a doctor in the house? And there's like 5 or 6 doctors running up there.
Right.
Girls saying, I'm a nurse. They're running up there. And then a girl in front of me goes, I'm a dentist. I want to see what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's going to check his teeth?
I don't know.
They're trying to bring him back?
I'm only a dentist, but I want to see what's going on. She goes up there.
Well, technically she's a doctor.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, that would be better than vet tech or something if you were having a coronary. But.
Right. So it turns out I think he had cardiac arrest, which is sad. Nothing about it's funny.
Right.
So I did ask her. I said, how were his teeth? Were they have cavities?
They have caps.
Yeah. But